Hello, my name is Qianyi Wang, and I'm presenting the polychlorinated biphenyls PCBs in American waterways. The objectives of this presentation is to explain the PCB's contamination problem and its effect in American waterways, including rivers, lakes, and coastal area. This is a photo of PCB contamination site. It is the highest concentrations of PCBs ever documented in a marine environment. This page is the table of content. I use some pictures, graphs, and maps to show the contamination problem. PCBs are a group of man-made organic chemicals consisting of carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine atoms. The number of chlorine atoms and their location in a PCB molecule determine many of its physical and chemical properties. PCBs have no known taste or smell and range in consistency from an oil to a waxy solid. PCBs were domestically manufactured from 1929 until manufacturing was banned in 1979 due to their non-flammability, chemical stability, high boiling point, and electrical insulating properties. PCBs were used in hundreds of industrial and commercial applications. The source of PCBs are mostly from industrial waste. The closed systems and heat transfer fluids like transformers, capacitors, fluorescent light, and ballast, etc. account for 60%. The plasticizers account for 25%. The hydraulic fluids and lubricants account for 10%, and others account for 5%. Today, PCBs can still be released into the environment from poorly maintained hazardous waste sites that contains PCBs, illegal or improper dumpings of PCB waste, leaks or releases from electrical transformers, and disposal of PCB containing consumer products into municipal or other landfills not designed to handle hazardous waste, or burning of some waste in municipal and industrial incinerators. PCBs do not readily break down once in the environment. They can remain for long periods, cycling between air, water, and soil. PCBs can be carried long distances and have been found in snow and sea water in areas far from where they were released into the environment. PCBs have a lot of negative health effects. Studies suggest that PCBs are probable human carcinogens, and studies in monkeys and other animals have revealed a number of serious effects on the immune system following the exposures to PCBs. The suppression of immune system lead to reduction in immune system response, decreased resistance to virus and infections, and decrease in size of thymus gland in infant monkeys. PCB exposures were found to reduce the birth weight, conception rate, and live birth rate of monkeys and other species, and PCB exposure reduced sperm count in rats. In human population, exposure to PCBs is likely to induce early-born infants and decrease birth weight. When exposed to PCBs, there is also persistent and significant deficits in neurological development, including visual recognition, short-term memory, and learning. PCBs disrupt the endocrine system and have been demonstrated to exert effects on thyroid hormone levels in animals and humans. Contact with PCBs are often through food, skin contact with contaminated soil and water, and breathing PCB vapors. The chemicals are hazardous at very low levels, and PCBs are still present in the environment decades after they have been banned. For different types of surface water, the criteria of PCB levels for protection varies. For saltwater aquatic life, the level is 30 parts per trillion. For freshwater aquatic life, the protection level is 14 parts per trillion. For fish-eating wildlife, it is 0.12 part per trillion, and for human consumers of fish, it is 0.001 part per trillion. The Hudson River is a long-term contamination site. The PCBs present a serious and long-term threat to the health of the Hudson River ecosystem and pose a potential health threat to people who eat fish or who eat other organisms that inhabit the river and the surrounding area. Numerous studies have documented PCB contamination in the surface water, groundwater, sediments, and floodplain soil of the Hudson River, as well as in living resources at every level of the Hudson aquatic, terrestrial, and wetland-based food chains. Start from the Hudson Falls at the very top of the map. The river has been extensively contaminated. Studies have shown that PCBs do accumulate in aquatic organisms such as trout and seals. The Great Lakes Fish Monitoring and Surveillance Program monitors the PCB levels at 10 composites around the Great Lakes. The left picture suggests that the rate of decline of PCB residues in fish are slowing or have stopped in some lakes. Despite potential changes in annual rates of decline, first-order log linear regression models are still a good fit to observe the concentration in the lake through time. The level of PCBs in harbor seals shows similar pattern. In summary, PCBs contaminate waterways, accumulate in soil, and it is harmful to human and other organisms, and it persists in our environment even though they are already banned in production. Thank you for watching.